I think decluttering can feel overwhelming and intimidating. I know I've felt that way many times, but I think there's one practical tip or strategy that has been the key to success, for me at least, in minimizing. And I wanted to share it with you in case you're in the place that I was in, where I was kind of spinning my wheels and kind of trying to do declutters, but not really seeing the payoff. And I can honestly say this one strategy has made a huge impact on how my home looks, how I function day to day, even the relationship I have with myself, and just how easy life is day to day. To preface this strategy, for a little context, I want to acknowledge why it's so hard and intimidating to declutter. And I think part of it is what we tell ourselves about ourselves. For me, in the past, I identified as a messy person. I labeled myself as someone who was untidy, who couldn't get it together, and I had that core belief about myself. And part of what gets in the way of us making the changes we genuinely want to make are these core deep-seated beliefs that we can't really change, that we're so stuck in the patterns of behavior of keeping things, of collecting, that ultimately it's just not going to work out. And even if we try to tell ourselves we're capable or try some little declutters, there is a deep core part of ourselves that doesn't believe we're capable of that transformation. Now, there are about 1 million different, tiny, really effective and helpful decluttering strategies. I talk about them all the time on this channel. Things like decluttering categories at once, scheduling decluttering sessions, or focusing on what sparks joy. But there is one approach that's really made a difference for me because it's shown me what I'm capable of. And I'm going to tell you what that strategy looks like, but I want to really quickly talk about the sponsor of today's video and thank them for supporting this channel. One of the best things we can do to make our homes a more welcoming place for ourselves is to make our bedrooms a sanctuary, to make our bedrooms a place that we look forward to going to at the end of the day, a place where we wake up and we feel rejuvenated and re-energized. And so that's why I'm really excited to partner with my favorite bedding company, Boll & Branch. To me, when you crawl into sheets that feel soft and luxurious, it really changes your entire mindset. I've noticed since I've started using Boll & Branch sheets, I have way more gratitude for my life in general because I end the day and start the day thinking, how lucky am I to have a bed this comfortable? I honestly think these are the most luxurious, comfortable feeling sheets I've ever tried. And the reason is that they're 100% cotton, free from toxins. A lot of sheets companies have perpetuated this myth that it's all about thread count, but it's really about thread quality. And Boll & Branch makes sure to have the best thread quality. These sheets get softer with every wash, and they don't pill or shrink. So they really stand the test of time and get better over time. And same with the duvet cover I use from Boll & Branch as well. It is buttery soft. Also recently I got this beautiful 100% organic cotton knitted blanket, and it is just pure luxury. It just feels quality. I don't even know how to show you across the screen, but it is the ideal blanket. And what's fun is I also got the matching baby blanket that is just as soft because I'm pregnant. I'm also now really obsessed with their towels because they are really absorbent, they're really soft, and they feel plush, but they also don't feel thick and heavy, if that makes sense. Like, they're bendable and lightweight, but they feel so luxurious. If you're interested in investing in yourself and your bedroom in this way, then check out the link at the top of my description box. And don't miss out on Boll & Branch's best offer of the season. You can get 20% off using my promo code ELIN20. That's ELIN20. Without further ado, I want to introduce to you what I think is my best decluttering approach. And that strategy is essentially to start living in the way that you see yourself living in the future, even if you haven't gotten rid of everything you want to yet. Basically, this approach is kind of live the life you want, experience the life you want, and then let the rest fall into place. It's kind of a fake it till you make it type strategy. If you're not ready to psychologically let go of your belongings, just take your stuff and put it in some kind of storage space. Even if it means you put it in one corner of your house or one room of your house, one closet, one basement area, take the excess and put it out of immediate sight and out of immediate mind. This allows you to curate your space in a way where you only keep what you actively are excited about, what you actively use really regularly, and to be more okay with letting the rest go. Because I think sometimes when we first start decluttering, we're in our heads, we think, I might need this later, maybe I should just keep this around. Or deep down, we don't think we can actually live with fewer options, so we like to give ourselves more options than we really need. And so we end up keeping more in these declutters. But if we instead think of it as, I'm just gonna pull the things I absolutely love and use regularly out from the rest of the chaos, put that in my immediate storage spaces, so our immediate closets and cupboards, in our visual space, and then take that excess chaos and put it away in storage, you will start living this more minimized life, even though technically you haven't actually eliminated the rest from your home. Because basically, once you start living in a home that has less, you notice so quickly the natural changes that happen, where it's just easier to tidy up, it's easier to put things away, you don't have so many decisions to make, and you realize, wow, I'm capable of living this new way. I don't have to live this messy, chaotic life that I chose in my past. And just because I lived as a messy person doesn't make me a, quote, messy person. And so I know this might feel overwhelming, the idea of, okay, just start living minimally, and there is some work involved, I'll give you that. But there are 2 specific sub-tips or strategies for getting to this place, this minimized lifestyle off the bat, that will make it easier for you. And the first strategy is using gateway storage. So I kind of alluded to this, but basically to find a space in your home and even potentially renting a storage unit for a very short period of time to prove this to yourself. I know that's kind of sacrilege in the minimalism community, but for those of us who are chronically messy and can't get the change to happen, sometimes this is the way you can make it happen. But basically find a storage space that works for you, even if it's just a part of your home that you use a little bit less or is a little bit more out of sight, and take all that extra stuff and store it away. I think a very important piece of this is to have a timeline on it. You don't want to put things in gateway storage and then never deal with them again, because then that stuff is going to be gnawing at you and bothering you in the back of your mind. I tend to like to set a date of either 1 or 3 months where I'll get rid of it and declutter it thoughtfully, either through donations, recycling, garbage, or giving it to people in my life whom I know will want this stuff. Basically, by having gateway storage, the bar is raised for what you keep in your immediate working space, the spaces you interact with on a day-to-day basis, and you lower the bar for what you eliminate from that immediate space, which ultimately allows you to declutter more. Now, of course, there's a slight risk that you declutter something that you might miss later, but first of all, you have that 1 to 3 months to determine if you do miss something. And second, I think the boost in quality of life that you'll see is worth the slight risk that you might miss something that you decluttered. So that's the first sub-tip to help you with a strategy. The second is reducing momentary tidying avoidance. And basically, if you've lived a life where you consider yourself to be a messy person like I did, I think it's likely that you've built up the idea of tidying as this really arduous, difficult task when it actually doesn't have to be. Our brain overestimates how difficult it is to put things away immediately and underestimates how hard it will be later once all that chaos has built up. I think a perfect example for me is when I recently timed how long it took myself to empty the dishwasher. It was on a day where the dishwasher was bursting and over full, and it still only took me about 3 minutes to empty the entire thing. But so often in the past, I would put off emptying the dishwasher because it felt like such a chore, and then I would have all this dish build up in the sink and that kind of thing. So I think it's about recognizing when we're avoiding little tidying tasks and just doing them in the moment as we go about our day. Maybe it slows us down slightly by 1 to 3 to 5 minutes here or there, but ultimately it improves our quality of life so much. For those first few weeks where you're living with more of your stuff away in storage and not in your immediate space, use mindfulness and being in the moment, paying attention to your actions when normally you're not and you're on autopilot. When you're moving around your space, pay attention to what you're doing and always try to remember to put things away when you interact with them. During this transition period, where your stuff is mostly in storage and it's less overwhelming, it's a great opportunity to retrain your habits and your brain to pay attention to what you're doing in the moment as you move around your space and to just put things away as you interact with them. I know this one is obvious. Like, I know we need to put our coats away when we enter the house. We need to put our shoes away and our keys away. But it's about making the decision to make those changes in just a few week period when your home is a little bit more streamlined and minimized. So it's that much easier, that much less friction, and you will see the payoff. When I recently did another closet declutter where I just really minimized my closet and I started to fold my laundry regularly, which again was less overwhelming because there was less of it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a tidy person now. Not only am I capable of this, but it's not as hard as I thought. And the reason it's not as hard as I thought is because I have less stuff around and I'm doing things right away instead of putting them off. And I just started living the way that I'd always dreamed of living. And what's funny about that is when something in your head becomes tangible, becomes reality, it sticks with you. It's almost this emotional experience where you suddenly gain confidence and you look at yourself differently and you think, I have been telling myself lies for all this time. I've been telling myself that I can't do it, that I'm not capable, that it's too much effort, that I'm too busy, that I have too many obligations and I can't deal with my stuff. When really, if I just do that initial reduction of stuff, using of gateway storage, and you start to pick up after yourself right away, and you make that change over the course of a few weeks, it could have rippling effects on your life forever, because that is what I found. And it is such a valuable lesson because it truly makes just navigating your home, dealing with life that much easier. And I can say, as someone who gave therapy to people for years in my past career, I do believe that humans are capable of change and of changing how they see themselves and their identities. And you don't have to feel like that messy person forever. You can change. And I can honestly say, in the past, I thought I would always be a messy person. And now I see myself as someone who at least has her home mostly together. It's not perfect. Sometimes it still gets messy, but it is way easier to manage, and I feel like I've gotten way more of the control back. Anyway, I hope that this video was beneficial to you, and even if you don't want to use all those specific tips or approaches, I just hope at least you can take from this video the idea that you are capable of change, and if you have always felt like you are a clutter magnet, that doesn't mean that's always how you have to be. Also, again, if you're interested in that amazing Boll and Branch 20% off deal, check out the link in the description box and use the code ALIN20. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. It's a great way to support the channel, so I'd really appreciate it. And you can also subscribe below for more videos like this one. Anyway, thank you so much for spending this little bit of time with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.